this tutorial, we're going to be taking a look at tutorial 2 in chapter 6. And for this one here, the way that we're going to start this is from the front plane. So I'm going to click on the front plane and select the sketching tool. And then we're going to click on the look at tool so that I can look straight at it. And just like every other exercise that I do, I always like to start with just the first two lines that are going to make this up. So we'll draw in the first line here, and I will draw in the vertical line as well. Now at this point I can go ahead and modify these dimensions so that I know about what kind of scale that I'm working with. So the overall length on this is 72, the overall height is 68. Now that I know the scale, I can go ahead and continue to draw the rest of this profile. So this is going to come over here, down, over, up, over, and I'm making sure not to get equal length constraints where I don't need them. And I can finish the profile here. Now the next step in this is going to be to draw or go ahead and dimension everything that I need to dimension. So we'll go to normal dimension and we'll place the dimension for this line here, which is going to be 8. Dimension for this segment here, which is 18. The thickness of this is also 8. This segment right here is 20 across. And this distance here is also 8. So now I got to examine this. I look, there's no weak dimensions. I do have a closed profile, so I should be good to go ahead and finish this sketch. And now I will go ahead and extrude this. Now one thing that I'm going to be doing for this one here, since I have features that are centered on this part, I want to extrude this in such a way that I still have my front plane cutting this thing completely in the middle. So when I go to extrude, instead of sending it in one direction only, I'm going to come down here and select the mid-plane extrusion option. That way my front plane is going to still be in the middle and it'll extrude evenly in both directions. The extent of this extrusion is 38. So we'll put in our 38 and hit the checkbox. So here we have the rough outline of the shape, and we have a couple of additional features that we need to add. I want to click on this face and start my first sketch on here. And again, I'll go to look at just so that I can place this. And then I'm just going to turn it just ever so slightly so that I can still see the depth in this particular object. I want to locate a circle to put this boss feature on here, and this circle is going to have a diameter of 28. And then I can place the dimensions. The dimension from the top of the object is 15. And the dimension from the side of the object will be equal to half of the object, so it's going to be 19. So now that I have this thing in the middle, I can go ahead and I'm going to orbit just a little bit, and we're going to finish this sketch and extrude this object also. And it sticks out a total distance of 17. Hit my checkbox. And now the only thing I have left to do here is put the hole through it. So we'll go to the hole command. I'm going to left click on this face, hit Control and select the axis, which lines up this hole on this axis perfectly. I want to set the option on the hole depth to through all, and we're going to change our diameter to 20. Once all the parameters are set, I can click the box to finish the sketch. Now I need to go back and create this ribbed feature that is running in this area here. So I'm going to click back on the front plane, which is the whole reason that I did the mid-plane extrusion initially, is so that I would still have this to work from. I can now click Sketch, and at this point I want to go ahead and use the look at feature and then move it just slightly again just so that I can see everything. I am going to project this edge and this edge, but then I'm going to delete both of those segments so that the only geometry left behind is the reference lines used to create it. And in this case I'm going to draw a line from here to here. I want to make sure that I don't accidentally grab a midpoint and don't accidentally grab an edge. So now I can place the dimensions for this part. I know that the distance here is going to be 32. So we'll go from here to this point and place the dimension down here at 32. The height of this particular object is given at 15. So if I click here to here and locate my dimension over here, I can place this in at 15. Now, since I'm going to use a profile rib for this particular feature, I only need a single line to create this rib. This is going to serve as the profile of the rib, so I can say OK. It's one of the few situations where an open-ended, unshaded sketch is actually what I'm looking for. So now I'm going to come up here where it says rib, and I'm going to click the drop down and go to profile rib. And this is going to give me an arrow, and if I orbit this around, I can see that that arrow is facing the wrong way. If I just double click it or single click it, it is going to switch directions. It's automatically going to be set up to split the thickness in both directions. So all I have to do is come in here and change my thickness to 8 for this profile rib, and then I can hit the checkbox. So with just a couple of commands, we had our first extrusion, which we extruded both ways, added our boss, the hole, and then placed a rib, and that completes tutorial 2 in chapter 6.